In the 1930s, the world entered a terrible economic downturn known as the Great Depression. One of the many factors that caused this downturn was speculation in stock values by commercial banks. The banks took big risks in hopes of bigger rewards. At first, the stock prices went up and up, but then it all backfired as the whole market collapsed. After the stock market crash and the onset of the Great Depression, politicians asked what they could do to prevent the problem from happening in the future. They created the Glass-Steagall Act, which separated commercial banking and investment banking to protect the public from the dangers of speculation. In 1999, after 67 years of economic growth and stability, some groups argued that the dangers of the Great Depression were behind us and the protections of the Glass-Steagall Act were no longer necessary. Some worried politicians and economists warned that we shouldn't repeal the act, saying that the banks could become too big to fail, but these warnings were ignored. In 1999, the Glass-Steagall Act was repealed. Less than 10 years later, the warnings became reality as the United States experienced the housing crisis of 2008. From 1997 to 2007, housing prices went up and up. Consumers bought more real estate thinking their investments would pay off, feeling secure that their homes would be worth even more in the future. This increase in consumer confidence led to increased spending, and the U.S. saw incredible economic growth. At the same time, banks started to approve buyers who really didn't have the credit to qualify them for a home loan. These buyers also didn't have the money to pay back the loan, but speculation about the rising housing prices led everyone to believe they would make their money back. But housing prices didn't rise forever. In 2007, they began to fall, and so did the big banks and investing firms that had bet on the market. As prices collapsed, people lost their homes, savings, and in many cases, their jobs. Unemployment rose, consumer spending stopped, the bubble burst just as the economists had warned. Major economic events like the Great Depression and the housing crisis affect not only huge governments and big banks, but also everyday businesses and the people who depend on them. We study macroeconomics in an effort to understand the performance and behaviors of economies on a large scale, whether regional, national, or global. The better we understand macroeconomics, the more we can anticipate and influence the economic events that affect the world. By the end of this course, you'll be able to assess the outcomes of supply and demand forces from a macroeconomic perspective, analyze the market outcomes of essential macroeconomic indicators, evaluate how essential macroeconomic indicators can promote stability and growth, and more.